This is the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry with your hosts, Linda Bruno and JJ Wilson.
Okay, I'm rolling.
You're rolling. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Hello again, JJ, and hello again to everyone listening to the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
The Voiceover Gurus podcast?
Yes, that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing right now.
That's what we're doing right now.
So what happened to me? Can I tell you what happened to me?
Tell me what happened, Linda.
Actually, an hour ago, at like 1 o'clock, I had a client who paid for studio time, right? So that way he could record something.
Yes.
So, and I'm engineering it. And I go to load Pro Tools and I get an error from iLok. iLok is this little key. Now it's a virtual key where the license is held when you purchase a subscription to Pro Tools.
Right.
So it used to be a physical one. I think you can still get the physical ones.
Yes.
But if you do the cloud, it's a cloud-based thing. So it says iLok outage. And I'm like, what? And my client is literally walking in the door and I cannot get Pro Tools to load. And I go on the server, I go onto the website and I'm like, iLog outages. And it's like, all systems are fine. And I'm like, of course, it's just mine. It's just mine. I restart my computer, reboot Pro Tools, try to do everything I can. Finally, watch this little video that somebody made. Thank you, YouTube. And it says, deactivate your license and reactivate your license. So I go into the iLok manager, deactivate the license, which took like 5 minutes, and then reactivate the license. But I just did that now before recording this podcast. So what did I do with the client? I used my trusty workhorse, Audacity. And Audacity, of course, loads up no problem. I had to refresh myself on some editing stuff with it because I'm not real familiar. But I was able to do his session and get everything nice and cleaned up, and just goes to show you got to have an extra option of a DAW.
Yes.
Because what do you do? If you're what if it's a live session? What if you just started a live session with someone, a client, and then suddenly it's like, oh, my system's not working. So considering Audacity is free, just have it on your hard drive.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that.
It was a good lesson to learn,
It's audacious of you to say that.
Thanks. So I reactivate, and then you call me because I say we can't podcast today because I really want to use Pro Tools for the podcast because of editing and all that.
Yes.
And boom, it worked. So either you're my lucky charm, or
thank you very much. Thank you.
That's the solution. Deactivate, reactivate.
Okay. I haven't had to do that today. Although an hour ago I was doing a really cool audition on we'll call it moises.com, so nobody knows.
Okay.
Excellent audition, paid a lot of money, didn't pay attention, worked on it for half an hour, and then went to upload it, and it was closed.
Oh no. So it went quickly. Either that or the client changed their mind, right?
I think it was closed before it even started.
Oh no.
I just fell in love with the copies so much, but boy, I got a good read out of it. So maybe I'll use it on my demo or something. I don't know.
Well, you know what? If the copy's really good, bring it to a workout.
I already sent it to you for tomorrow night.
That's what you sent. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, JJ's really fast today.
Yep.
He's prepared.
Yep. So that's how it,
All right.
I'm having the same kind of day as you.
That's how your day is going. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, on today's episode,
Linda, what do you want to talk about today?
This tintillating episode of the Voiceover Gurus, figured we would answer a question from one of our students. She sent in a question a while ago, and I kind of pile these up so I have them in my big bucket. Okay, she says, I have a question about auditioning. How do you keep a read from sounding overworked? Yesterday, I got an audition that asked for an unpolished natural read. And does that mean use thinking pauses, maybe a bit of vocal fry, leave a breath in, or just go with your natural instincts and don't drive yourself crazy? Is it really just that? It can't be just that.
Well, I actually called her on this and we talked for a little while, and I said, just don't overthink it. It's not brain surgery. Just talk it out. Got an email from her 20 minutes ago. She booked the job.
Really?
Yes.
My God, but this is this is for a different audition because this is an email she
Oh.
sent me on the 19th of October.
It was the same kind of question though, is what
Right.
do I do? You know, they don't want not announced, they want
Yeah.
not announcery. How far should I go? And this and that. So we talked for a little while and she auditioned and she booked it.
Very nice.
Yes.
So it
Way to go,
really,
Erin.
it really is just, I didn't give her name. You just
Who's
did.
Erin's? I didn't either.
So you're basically answering the question there that it really just is that.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't overthink it like I do.
But can you expand on that? Because it's easier said than
I'm
done.
sorry. I don't have time, Linda.
We have time.
I have to update my Pro Tools. My iLock is unlocked.
Can you expand on that idea?
Yeah. When it comes to copy like that, you've got to see. I just took a thinking pause right there
Because you're
And it
thinking
just-
about what you're going to say.
right, and that way it's not on the page; it's in your head, and that's what people hear. That's the difference between somebody who sounds reedy and somebody who sounds like they're just talking.
Right.
Take those little tiny parts, not much, just a little bitty bit.
Just something.
Something else I wanted to mention. I've seen a couple of posts lately. I don't know where or what. One of them was from an agent. I forget where I saw the other one, but it's two in like a couple of days. And they're saying, why in God's name is everybody taking out all of their breaths in their auditions?
Really?
Yes. I say, it's okay. Breathe. So now what I'm doing, I'm going to try this for a while. Excuse me, is I'm going to leave the breaths in that are natural breaths. But if it's something, like in a list with a breath between it, you go to the park, you go to the store, you go to the train, I take out that breath.
In
just
list.
so I can, in the list. Right. But I
Okay.
leave the natural ones at the end of a sentence.
Right.
So you might want to try that. People seem to be leaning a little bit differently towards that. And I know there are some engineers out there who hate it when you de-breath because they can't put them back in. They sit there, go, and try and
Right.
make it fit. So I'm going to try that for a little while. It's things on television are starting to sound unnatural. I agree with that because there's no breath.
Yeah. There's no human
And that
quality.
will also help with what Erin was talking about, how unannouncery and how do you make it sound real? Leave the breaths in.
Right. I do, for the most part, I leave a lot of the breaths in unless they are very obvious.
Yes.
If it's
Yes.
very obvious, I remove it, but otherwise I
Right.
don't.
If you got a 4-line sentence and at the end of it you go,
Yeah. Yeah. And you can always see it on the waveform.
oh
When
yeah.
you're editing, you're like, oh,
Big
I got to
lump.
get rid of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise I leave a lot of them just because it's
Yeah.
natural speak, especially for the conversational reads.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's where I think that, it will really help with the natural everyday today read. People are just talking.
The
They're leaving-
unpolished natural read that she's referring to is on so many audition specs.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's constant. That's what we're getting.
Yes.
And then that is what is trending. That's what's booking jobs right now. I have an interesting story. I have a client that I do work for kids stuff that I've had for like for like 6 years, and they're out of England, and they're great. They're amazing. And then I've never spoken to any of them though. And it's so funny. They just send me the emails. I do the job, send it back. I don't get feedback other than, oh, you're wonderful, Linda. Thank you so much for returning it so promptly, and okay, great. It's been a fantastic client. And then last week they're like, could we have a meeting with you, a Zoom meeting to discuss a shift in your voiceover delivery? I was like, part of me was like, oh dear. And then the other part of me was like, well, cool. I can finally meet you and actually find out what it is that you are looking for. And what's happened now is because of the way things are moving, they want that more natural, very, straight type of read to kids, as opposed to the chipper thing that was up here. Yeah.
And the monster was under your bed.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of that, they're like, well, no, we went on your website. Here's another thing too. We went on your website and it's great. You have like a menu of choices. You have, authoritative read, you have your medical read, you have your warm read, and then you have your conversational read. We clicked on conversational. We were like, yes, that's what we want her to do. So we know she can do it. And that's the thing. If you can represent yourself properly on your website, because you don't know who the heck's going to be on there. It could be a potential client, could be an existing. That the greatest thing that I have with all of this is the fact that they came to me and said, let's talk about the read, as opposed to me not knowing
somebody else.
Yeah, I got fired. I didn't even know why.
Yeah.
So it was great to see them on Zoom. It was great to actually see faces, and they were saying the same thing. And I said, a lot of voice talent, we don't get that chance to adjust our reads. We just find out that we don't have the work anymore. We just don't know why. And she was like, oh, no. We definitely love working with you. We want to make this, we want to continue. So we just want to adjust. So I feel very grateful for that. But a couple of lessons in there, is that you need to have distinct samples of what you can do and describe it very simply, so that way they can make the connection and hire you that much faster and easier.
Right.
So
I have a question for you. This will
what's
stump
that?
you. Do you think it's getting a little bit too loose?
The
I've been
reads?
watching TV. Yeah, I've been watching TV and listening to the radio, and it seems like the engineers are starting to take on that attitude as well. Like, it doesn't matter if the music drowns out the last line of the spot.
I guess I don't
And
listen for that because I'm not an engineer, so
I was for a while, but
yeah,
if
you
you
hear
can't hear the
that.
client name at the end of the spot,
Right.
it just seems like everything is getting, can you, can you do it for this much?
Yeah.
And we're back to that again.
I
And
know.
some of the reads nothing stands out anymore to me.
Right. Yeah.
It's
The
all just
quality.
people talking, because there's people talking on the television show,
Mhm.
and then there's people talking the same way in the commercial, and there's no differentiation. And the stuff that people still do, a lot of the, standout-ish stuff. I auditioned this morning for a game show host and stuff like that.
It's fun.
That will stand out. Yeah. But it just seems like it's all getting so boring.
It wasn't that game show host one that's actually the con. There's been an audition that's been going around for years and years and years.
No.
For a game show host.
Oh no, I know that.
It's not that. Okay, you didn't audition for that, right?
Fly you to our no. You can tell right off the bat that's a scam.
Oh my God, it's terrible. But it's been around for years.
Yes. They keep trying. But I don't know. I hope they don't go too much farther with the I don't care read.
Yeah.
There's just sell it a little bit.
We were watching at lunch a TV show and it had commercials, and it was Hinge is an app, a dating app. I think it's called Hinge. And it's the app that's meant to be removed, deleted. Basically, you find your partner and you don't need the app anymore. So the commercial's pretty cute. But the voiceover is the epitome of vocal fry millennial. And Sandy and I both looked at each other and were like, oh my gosh, because she's like, get rid of the app. It's the one to get rid of. And it's about as bored as you can possibly imagine. I'm listening to this and saying, and I like the commercial, the voiceover, I don't like, but I'm not that age group. So I don't know.
I don't know how they hear the spots unless they're just so used to everybody talking to them that way. Then when a commercial comes on, they go, oh yeah, I just heard that. Yeah.
It's so toned down. It's so pulled back.
It's just, I don't know.
But like you had mentioned, Alyssa said in one of the workouts, you still have to sound like you care.
Exactly. They're losing the caring sound.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of that's going on in the world. They just don't care.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. Last night, my wife got a new cell phone.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And written right on the contract, because they said it would be here on November 5th. And we got it yesterday, the 15th. No apologies, nothing. It's just, sorry. It's, no, I don't care. It's here.
Yeah.
Pick it up. So she told her what number to put in it, her number. She was switching her phone in, and he put my number in there.
What?
So when we got home, her phone had my phone number and my phone didn't work.
Oh no.
And it's like, it's like 24 miles round trip. So
oh God,
this fella, I walked in, he had a big giant ring in his nose.
Oh, those are
which I say, that's good for business. To us older folks, I just wanted to pull on it and twist it.
I know, it's very tempting.
And my, Janine called and said, oh, I got to come back. Oh, okay. I'm really sorry. This was a different guy. So I called the first guy this morning and I said, that was a pain in the neck last night. What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's working now, isn't it?
Oh
Yes. He said, well, there you go.
my gosh.
And he hung up.
Oh my gosh. That is not good customer service.
And then
People
20
don't follow
minutes
those
later,
rules.
I got an email saying, you're going to be getting a survey from Verizon. And I went, good.
Good. I'm going to give them my
Yeah.
honest opinion.
Yes, I am.
Honest
So
opinion.
anyway, yeah.
So the unpolished natural read, which is very hard. It's unpolished. It's very,
wow.
It's difficult to master. It's what we wind up coaching people to do. I had a young actor here yesterday, and he's doing a Broadway show and the whole 9 yards. Great kid. And he wanted me to review some of his auditions, his voiceover auditions, and he was suffering from the same thing. But of course, his was more from a transference of stage, where the diction is so perfect.
Perfect.
It's our town, So, so I was
there was
like,
an HA at the end of town.
town. So he takes direction so well. So he brought it down, and because he was talking about Fruity Pebbles or something, and as opposed to and this box is amazing, and I was like, no, how would you say it naturally? And he's like, oh, well, this box is amazing. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming in.
I know. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. So,
I'm doing the same thing though. I am forcing myself. I did an audition for something this morning. I don't know what it was, but I'm forcing myself not to care. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So yeah, get a new car. It's really great.
Oh, right. For car spots. I'm sure that's great.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a car spot. It was something, but I am physically forcing myself to let go of the voice and backing off the mic. And I'm just talking.
But you know what? It gets to the point though, where you think, I don't know, that's not a read that's natural for me. And I don't know if I want to fake it. I don't want to fake it. I don't think it sounds good when I try to push something that I don't genuinely feel fits for me. And so that means I don't go for those jobs, Yeah.
I talk like this all the time now, my wife. And
you're going to put us to sleep.
You're a good dog. Come here. Oh, what a good boy. Sit. Yeah. Okay.
So thinking about it, yes, you want to be able to do an unpolished natural read, but just make sure you're not sounding bored.
Right. Or have a speech impediment.
Although I saw an audition the other day, it said speech impediments are wanted. So you know what, JJ? Anybody can audition now.
Okay. It's a super sale at Sam's.
It makes you different. Wait. Wipe off the camera.
Yes.
It makes you different. Hey.
From the 77.
I'm telling you, things have changed. I feel like I'm in a rocking chair. We're talking about it.
I know.
Right?
I feel like I'm a dying dinosaur here.
Yeah, just the concepts are getting a little like, okay,
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously we're still working. We're really addressing the big current stuff that you see on some of the national spots. You're like, oh wow, I would not have been a choice I would have made. But so be it.
So come to Disney World. It's really fun.
What I'm grateful for is that there are so many other voiceover genres that are still have some animation in them, have variety with performance, because it seems that it's really for commercials.
Exactly. I was just going to say e-learning and stuff. They don't do that.
No. Well, people would fall asleep.
Welcome to IBM. We're really glad you're here. And
right.
Paying you $400,000 a year. Watch this video. Then it'll be great. Yeah. It's really just more towards the commercial world. We feel that's what we're finding in the auditions that are coming in. Yeah. Yeah. I just got an audition, which I'm going to do when we get done. That's going to be really cool. It's a voice for COVID. Oh, and the voice of COVID. Drawn a picture. They've drawn a picture of a COVID cell. Oh, that's kind of a cartoon drawing. Crazy. But he's nasty, but he tries to help a little bit by getting people vaccinated. Oh. But in the end, he goes, better hurry up. So I can't wait to get to work on that one. That's the kind of stuff I like these days. I don't know if I was ever into the guy next door type read. I don't have the voice for it. Nah, your voice doesn't fit it. Hear my voice, you say, oh, You got a voice for radio and a face for ham radio.
Ham radio.
I have a ham face.
You get fun auditions though because of the voice, your vocal quality.
Yes. You
Get some interesting ones.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
like that vending machine that day. That was so cool. And they asked me out of the blue. They said, "What do you think? You're a chocolate vending machine, and the girl wants to buy milk, and you're trying to talk her out of milk." And I immediately went into my New York pervert. Like, you push my buttons and I'll push yours.
God, it's disgusting.
Milk. And she said, "I'm going to unplug you." And I said, "Ouch, that hit me below the chips." But those are fun. I love those. Or the voice of a charcoal grill. Give me something to do.
I got to do the voice of an elf the other day. I mean, if I didn't also have the Comedy Network, I would be really bored.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of
Santa the other day for my first Santa of the season. So it's only November 13th. I think I did that.
Yeah.
That's good. I did a Groundhog Day spot and 4th of July already. So they've already got
Jumping
the flags
ahead.
out next to the trees. Yeah.
Jumping ahead. Well, the auditions can run the gamut for sure, but
yes, they can.
Pretty much underneath it all, unless it's a character piece, you really do need to focus on being as natural as possible
and really learning how to decipher their descriptions.
Yeah,
I mean, that is so important. And I'm getting to the point now sometimes where if it's too involved, I say to myself, they're not sure.
Right. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Because it's going from here to there, and they're not the same.
Right.
So I just go like this, and I just read the copy.
Yeah, if the specs are contradictory.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
He's tall but short, happy but sad.
Yeah, sometimes you read them and it's like a paragraph long.
It's like a relief map of Georgia.
And you say, what? What do you want? Now, my favorite is it's a voice we've never heard before.
Right.
It's a voice so unusual.
Right.
That it's never been heard before.
Never been heard before, ever. That's probably when you acquire the speech impediment.
Right.
Sorry.
Why would someone describe it like that? I don't know. I raise my hands in question. I don't know.
I give up. I give up.
I give up. This is it.
If anybody says I want somebody to sound taller, I'm quitting the business and I'm going to go herd cats. That's it.
Or the direction I got once. You're in your face mask right now. You're in your face mask. I'm in my face mask.
Happy Halloween.
And I'm in a live session during this. Thankfully, they could not see my face mask. They could not see my face because I was just like, the eyes were rolling like, oh my God.
Face mask. Hey, a week ago, my masterclass came out.
A few weeks ago, your masterclass.
A few weeks ago.
No, we don't even have to date it. We can just say, JJ, you did the November masterclass.
I did.
Yes. And it was very entertaining.
It was fun.
And you were talking about
etiquette during sessions.
Yes, session etiquette. Very important.
Yes, very important for that ongoing work, and no bad notes to your agent about how the session went.
Right.
Had that happen once.
Yes.
Guy lied through his teeth, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
But it's important to know these little tips and tricks. But as a masterclass member, you got access to this video.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then we do once a month the Q&A about the topic. And then we also have the off the air social to get to know each other too. But
we drink spiked hot chocolate together.
Spiked hot chocolate.
Right.
Which is nice.
And roasted marshmallows that have been marinated
in
tequila. What?
Ew, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yuck.
But there's a worm in each one.
Oh, no.
Okay. Have you ever eaten the worm?
No, that's a gimmick. Anyway, come on. It's mezcal too. It's not even.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that tequila?
Well, there's a whole thing. Not all. Don't worry about it. It's different. It is tequila, but I can't get into that right now. So
Okay.
anyway, what I was going to say was, if you are looking to start out in this business and you've been listening to our podcast, because we're like episode 82 at this point, which is nice. And we love the fact that we can give you information on the podcasts that it's free information, really the best information.
I was thinking this morning that if somebody wanted to learn voiceovers, all they have to do is listen to all of our podcasts. They could probably start making a living.
Well, the thing is, you do have to have some feedback from a live coach.
Exactly right. Exactly.
So
right.
our online course is really awesome because you go step by step through the basics of it. You learn it on your own in your own time, and then you get lessons with us.
Right.
And it's one-on-one lessons, and then you can also join us for the online workouts, which, as you know, they've now been dubbed the famous workouts, that we max out at 6 people. So you get a lot of attention in our training in our classes. So even if you're like, I think I want to do this, I'm not sure. Well, we've got the affordable option. It's only $4.95 for the starter package. It's really good.
And the Wednesday nights are great because it forces you to let go. Because everybody is sitting there watching you.
Yes.
And it's once you get over that.
Once you do your first read, you're fine.
Yeah.
And then you see how supportive everybody is. It's all good.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it's become a family.
Yeah. It's nice.
All of our students and things like that. I went out to dinner with one the other night.
Well, you've got, that's a relationship, with a friendship. That's a friendship.
And I spoke to another one this morning. They just called to say hi.
Aw.
We talked for a little while about life itself, and I'm making friends from this too. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it really is fun.
Well, we sent out in November, we're doing like a quarterly Voiceover Gurus newsletter. And I put a video in there
That's
I did.
Like 4 times a year.
I know. Not a lot, but enough. I'm just testing it out to see. But in this newsletter, I did a quick video talking about the length of time of how long does it really take to become a working voice actor.
It's just like 35 minutes.
It's like a 5-minute video that I did, but it's a very important question that a lot of people ask that are just like, aren't even in this business yet. And, in our email blasts, it's also on our YouTube page too. So if you want to check that out, that's.
And the final answer was, it depends.
Depends. Well, I talk about the averages of what we've encountered and how much work gets put in. And if you don't work
background before that.
Yeah. Things like that.
A lot of things go into this, and it could take as long as it took for me, or it could take you a shorter amount of time like it did Linda.
Yeah. But if you go to our YouTube page, which there's a link from voiceover.guru, then there's a bunch of videos there, as well as the podcasts. We have some that are video based that are, on YouTube too. So just giving you guys ideas of ways to get free information from us, because, information is power, right? But then again, sorry, too much information can cloudy and muddy the waters.
That's right.
Which is a little crazy.
That's right.
If you're looking more for focused attention, more like a mentorship, that's what the Voiceover Gurus are about. Yeah. That's what we're about.
Like I said, we're more of a family.
Yes. We care about you. We do. We do.
And if it all goes well, we'll help you. I mean, we'll really help you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like some people won't, and you don't have to listen to other silly podcasts. There's some on there. Some are good, some are weird, some are what?
Hey, I'm not going to critique anybody else's podcast.
Oh no, I'm not either. I'll just
you can talk about it behind their back, but not here on the podcast.
Well, maybe they're facing that way now.
All right. Well, we covered a few things, and I think we hopefully answered Aaron's question.
You did. I like your necklace, by the way. I wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you.
It's very pretty. Is it garnet?
Well, it's fake, whatever it is. It's
okay.
Blue.
Plastic. Okay.
It's probably plastic. It's not real. Anything. I don't know. I was in the mood to wear a necklace today.
Okay, I was too, but my wife wouldn't let me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got to talk with her about that.
You're going to be on camera, and I went, oh, that's right. Yeah.
No necklace.
No necklace.
So we're going to wrap it up because here at the studio, they need to play with the internet. We cannot do that while we're recording. So anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, that wouldn't be good unless they've already started and you didn't record this.
No, everything's recording. I'm watching.
Okay, good. Mine too. I've been watching it too very carefully.
Thank
Very
you all for
carefully.
joining us for another
Thank
episode of
you.
the Voiceover Gurus podcast.
Hope you learned a little something.
A little something today, and we will check in
Yeah.
with you real soon.
All right, then.
Ciao,
We'll
ciao.
talk to you
Meow, meow.
soon on episode 8017 million.
Thanks for listening to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry. Learn more about us and get coaching at voiceover.guru.